In our headlines tonight, Governor Biano calls for collective efforts to increase state's revenue profile. State government maintains stand against communique on Imobi meeting of Ohaneze Ndigbo in Enugu. Nigerian Air Force jets destroy terrorist hideouts in Borno. And on the foreign scene, hundreds of people missing in Brazil's dam collapse. Good evening. Welcome to the news. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoki. Governor Willie Obiano has declared open the 2019 IGR retreat holding at Golden Tulip Hotel, Agolo. Stakeholders in the state, including members of the State Executive Council, House of Assembly members, members of the State Economic Think Tank, among others, are brainstorming to review ways of improving the state IGR drive. Government House correspondent GK Abada reports that the theme of the retreat is maximizing the revenue potential of Anambra State through integrated revenue collection. The reports.
Declaring the event open, Governor Obiano charged participants to work towards increasing the state IGR to 5 billion naira monthly, noting that the state is underperforming in areas of IGR generation and stressing that he is deeply committed to plugging all leakages this time around. The governor noted that a lot of people generate revenue with government name but divert the funds, pointing out that as he is working towards cutting costs and increasing revenue profile, he called on Anambra to cultivate the habit of payment of taxes and levies, while emphasizing that every ministry has the potential and capacity to generate revenue. Governor Biano further hinted that he is working out ways to include tax payment in the school curriculum as a way of inculcating the ideals and practice of payment of taxes in the younger generation. He stated that technological tools will be introduced into the system to drive the tax process.
IGR is the lifeblood of any country, any state, any local government. Anambra is the fourth largest economy in Nigeria. If we were to be a country in Africa, Anambra State will be the 13th state in terms of GDP size out of 54 countries of Africa. So we can't be underperforming in that area. We've been working extra hard to make sure that we're paying salaries, pensions. That's not what government is all for. To do more.
From the Golden Tulip Hotels, Agolo Lake, GK Abana, ABS News.
The state government has maintained its stand against the communique issued by Imobi Ohaneze Ndigbo endorsing the PDP candidate for the February 16 presidential election. The secretary to the state government, Professor Solochukwu Lubelu, restated the stand during a press conference at Golden Tulip Lake Hotel, Agolo. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike tells us more.
According to Professor Solochukwu Lubelu, the content of the communique did not reflect the state government's position on next month's general election and wondered why an Apex Igbo socio-cultural organization had decided to be partisan in spite of the fact that members of the association belong to different political parties, and made it clear that the position of Anambra state government is that Ohaneze should remain a united umbrella for Ndi Igbo and should not take sides with any political party. While giving an insight into what transpired at Enugu, the SSG disclosed that the meeting was held earlier before the scheduled time and lasted for about 30 minutes, which, according to him, denied other delegates, including Anambra delegation, the representative of the Ebonyi state government, led by Dr. Eric Kelechi Igwe, the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnayono, and the Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, who also came for the meeting opportunity to participate. Professor Chukwu Lubelu also wondered why Ohaneze Ndigbo would schedule such important meeting the same time President Muhammadu Buhari visited Anambra State to commission the Zik Mausoleum at Onitsha. He explained that late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe deserves more respect and honor, especially from his kinsmen, as he was a great statesman of Igbo extraction, stressing that the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo should have been part of the honor as they were duly invited but chose to stay away from the event. The SSG maintained that APGA as a political party will continue to support all its candidates in the forthcoming election and called on Ndi Anambra to continue to support the party to sustain the good work going on in different parts of the state.
It wasn't just Anambra State that was excluded from coming to air their own position. And I think it would have been more credible for Haneze to have heard all views, before making any decision. On the matter of Anambra withdrawing from Ohaneze, Ohaneze is an umbrella organization of Ndigbo.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adinoba, restated that the state government has remained committed to promoting and championing the affairs of Ndigbo, which informed the decision of the state to sponsor the first ever Ohaneze Ndigbo Summit in Anambra State, and also sponsored Ozemena event, the occasion that was used to honor and bury Biafrans who died during the Civil War. Mr. Adinoba noted that Governor Obiano has continued to constructively engage all political parties and stakeholders in piloting the affairs of the state, including the federal government, through a policy of constructive engagement rather than confrontation, and cautioned that the destiny of a people and sacred institutions should not be used for politics.
Obiano, that when I told him, he directed me to issue a public statement, give it maximum publicity, and I gave it to all of you here, saying the title is Vote ABGA All the Way. We never said PDP at any point, or APC, or SDP.
The special advisor to the governor on political matters, Barrister Ifeatu Obi-Okoye, in his contribution, questioned the validity of the statement from Ohaneze President General John Nyanwodo, as it was not countersigned by the Secretary General of the association, noting that it was a pointer that there is a split in Ohaneze as regards to the endorsement of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. He noted that it is disgraceful to Igbo race that an important event aimed at honoring the great Zik of Africa was being organized by the federal government, and some stakeholders planned a parallel event and meeting, pointing out that Imobi does not take the final decisions for Ohaneze, as the General Assembly should ratify its decisions, which he observed has not yet happened. Among those at the press conference were the Commissioner for Culture, Tourism and Indigenous Artwork, Mrs. Sally Mbanefo, and the MD CEO of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Chief Uche Nwora. From the Golden Tulip Agolo, Chibuzo Obidiki, ABS News.
As part of his constitutional powers of jail delivery exercise, the State Chief Judge Justice Peter Umadi has granted bail to another 15 inmates at Nnewi prisons who have spent between 2 to 5 years awaiting trial in the prisons. The Nnewi prisons visit marks the second outing of the judge in the first quarter of his 2019 jail delivery court session, which ends on the 28th of this month with Oka prisons. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo, who fired this report, tells us more.
The 15 inmates that regained freedom, 4 were female, brought from the Onitsha prisons. Apart from the 15 that gained bail, the Chief Judge ordered for investigations into 11 inmates' cases and files, which should be completed within 14 days from Wednesday, 23rd. The State Chief Judge, Justice Umadi, in his remarks, said the quarterly interventions in prisons is necessary as it helps in looking at cases of persons who have spent long time behind bars to see what could be done to grant them bail, thereby decongesting the prisons. Justice Umadi reminded the managements of prisons in the state of the need for proper care of the prisoners as enshrined in the Constitution.
Constant pressure very possible for us to make out this time at the beginning of the year to the real.
In an interview, the State Controller of Prisons, Barrister Emmanuel Nwakeze, commended Justice Umadi for the intervention, which he said will go a long way in decongesting the state's prisons. Reacting to the inmates' welfare, Barrister Nwakeze noted that the managements of the prisons prioritize the prisoners' well-being, as according to him, they are well-fed and taught skills that will make them self-reliant when discharged. He, however, called on those that gained bail to be law-abiding as they reintegrated to the society.
This exercise will go a long way in decongesting the hitherto congested prisons in Anambra State. He is undertaking the jail delivery in all the 4 prison formations. Started with Onitsha. The next tomorrow is going to Aguata and will end in Oka on 28th. So I'm very grateful to the Chief Judge and all his team.
From Nnewi prisons, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Anambra State has assured people living with disabilities of its commitment to providing enabling environment and logistics that will ensure their participation in the forthcoming elections. The assurance was given in Oka during a one-day voter education and sensitization forum and persons living with disabilities. Correspondent Daniel Izigwe, who was at the forum, reports.
The program was aimed at educating the participants drawn from different groups on the electoral process, including what is expected of them on the election day and the modalities put in place by INEC to ensure that they vote smoothly. In a presentation, the head of voter education and publicity of INEC in the state, Mr. Leo Nkedife, said that the commission was ready for the elections.
INEC is always concerned about an all-inclusive participation in the electoral process. The women, we have gender policy. The disability, we now have framework on access to participation in the electoral process.
The INEC Civil Society Organization's desk officer, Mrs. Chinyere Okoye, said that the commission has introduced a series of innovations to help persons living with disabilities at the polls. Earlier in a remark, the state chairman of Joint Association of Persons Living with Disabilities, Mr. Ugochukwu Okeke, commended INEC for building a smooth ground for their participation in the 2017 gubernatorial election in Anambra State, charging the members to avail themselves the opportunity to participate in the forthcoming election.
We continue to interface with INEC like this one we are having with them today to see a better way of solving the problems. I must thank INEC for going extra mile in producing a framework on access and participation of persons with disabilities in electoral processes.
The program also featured an interactive session in Oka. Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The state government says its partnership with development agencies remains strong and will be sustained. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joe Akabike, stated these points while commissioning maternal and child health clinics in Ogidi and Izowole primary health centers, both in the Dembele North Council areas, renovated by a non-governmental organization. Chibuzo Okoye has the details.
Commissioning the projects, Dr. Akabike, who extolled the non-governmental organization known as the Challenge Initiative, TCI, said that nothing thrives in an unsafe environment and noted that the TCI, which has been in northern Nigeria over the years, arrived the state 6 months ago and started the intervention after his ministry presented them with the government's blueprint in the health sector that satisfactorily met their requirements. Dr. Akabike, who pointed out the benefits of the adequate security in the state, as well as the clearly defined policy and programs of the Obiano administration, maintained that the state will keep seeking partnership of development agencies in order to raise the health sector to an enviable height. The health commissioner therefore urged the Anambra to take the issue of family planning seriously for a healthier society.
This project was actually being, managed by the TCI Challenge Initiative, being sponsored by this our guests that came from all the way from Maryland, United States of America. And you see the magic that they will come to the Paramount Healthcare Center and they will transform it within 72 hours.
Thanking both the state government and TCI, the Ward 1 Health Committee Chairman, Ogidi, Mr. Ike Nwosisi, said that the community is happy with the work brought to their area and assured that they will utilize it. The Challenge Initiative has renovated 4 primary health centers in what they tagged 72 hours makeover in some parts of the state. It's been Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
After the break, Nigerian Air Force jets destroy terrorist hideout in Borno, and on the foreign scene, hundreds of people missing in Brazil's dam collapse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
It has come to the knowledge of the Anambra State government that a fast-growing number of political parties and their candidates participating in the 2019 general election boldly claim that Governor Willie Obiano has endorsed them. To make the claim look authentic, many have published in their campaign posters, flyers and banners their pictures with Governor Obiano. Many of the photographs were taken with the governor at public functions, churches, etc., often without the governor knowing about them. Some of these parties and their candidates pledged to the Anambra that once they win, they will publicly declare support for Governor Obiano and join or rejoin the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA) as the case may be. Some of the candidates have even forged statements purportedly made by the Anambra State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. C. Dawn Adenoba, supporting their candidatures. The statements often appear in poorly written English. The Anambra State government wishes to state categorically that the claims by the parties and politicians are false, misleading, and disingenuous. Governor Obiano endorses only APGA candidates in the forthcoming election. As the APGA national leader and chairman of the APGA Board of Trustees, he cannot endorse candidates contesting on the platforms of other political parties. All in the Anambra should, therefore, disregard the claim by the politicians that Chief Obiano has endorsed them when they are not APGA candidates. These politicians want to use Chief Obiano's immense popularity to hoodwink Anambra State voters and make them vote for candidates other than those of APGA. Though the overwhelming majority of our people are too discerning and sophisticated to fall prey to this trick, it is important to bring to the fore the grand design by people seeking public office by all means to cajole in the Anambra. This trick is nothing less than 419 because the perpetrators want to obtain power through false pretense. For the upfront time, the good people of Anambra State are encouraged to vote only APGA so that the ongoing excellent work in various facets of our existence will continue. Anambra State has now become about the most competitive state in Nigeria and the most peaceful and stable in the country. The Anambra will not tolerate anything which can disrupt the present development trajectory. God bless Anambra State, the light of the nation. Announcer Mr. C. Dawn Adenoba, Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment.
Glad to know you're still watching. The Nigerian Air Force says its Air Task Force on Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed the terrorist hideouts and neutralized some of them at Kaikungu, a settlement about 100 kilometers northwest of Monguno in northern Borno. NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, who disclosed this in a statement in Abuja, said that the operation was conducted on the heels of credible intelligence, indicating that the village was being used as a staging area from where the terrorists assembled to launch attacks against troops' locations. Daramola said 2 aircraft took turns in attacking the location, recording successful hits on the target, leading to the destruction of some of the structures as well as the neutralization of some terrorists. Many people are missing after a dam collapsed at an iron ore mine in southeastern Brazil, officials say. The break caused a sea of muddy sludge that buried the dam's cafeteria, where hundreds of workers were eating lunch. Rescue teams used earth-moving machinery at the site near the town of Brumadinho in Minas Gerais State. State Governor Romeo Zema said there was little chance of finding people alive. So far, some people have been confirmed dead. It is not clear what caused the collapse of the dam, owned by Brazil's largest mining company, Vale. The collapse comes just after the 3 years since a dam burst in Mariana, also in Minas Gerais, killing 19 people in what is considered Brazil's worst environmental disaster. The dam near Feijão iron ore mine burst its barrier and flooded another dam down below. The torrent of sludge cut through the dam's complex, nearby farms, and the neighborhood where many of the workers live, destroying houses and vehicles. Dozens of trapped people, many of them covered in mud, had to be evacuated by helicopter as roads were destroyed. Many other residents have been evacuated as security measure. In our sports, Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr will embark on a scouting trip to the Republic of Niger to watch the Flying Eagles Stars as the 2019 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations, with a view to inviting the outstanding players to the senior national team. Some of the eye-catching names of the Nigerian roster for the tournament are IK Start, midfielder Afiz Remu, Enyimba's Ikionwem Utin, Rosenborg wonderkid Igo Obu, and New Soundjask signing Yahaya Nazifi. Rohr has hinted that the Nigeria Professional Football League stars stand a good chance of earning call-ups to the Super Eagles for the games against Seychelles and Egypt. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like I said, www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And now a recap of the main points. Governor Biano has called for collective efforts to increase the state's revenue profile. State government has maintained its stand against communique on Imobi meeting of Ohanes and Dibo in Enugu. Nigerian Air Force jets have destroyed terrorist hideouts in Borno. And on the foreign scene, hundreds of people were missing in Brazil's dam collapse. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Good night.